Swadee and welcome to Be My Guest, the program which brings you successful stories of entrepreneurs and organizations in both the domestic and international arenas. I'm Sarosha Ratanapian. Many researchers and economists are raising up the question on how we can improve Thailand in order to compete internationally. And right now I'm at Thailand University to listen more in the symposium under the topic Redesign Thailand, how to grow sustainably, that addresses the world economies which are currently facing fundamental changes, the repercussions of which will inevitably have a significant impact on the Thai economy. So let's find out more about it in this episode of the program. And right now I'm granted the opportunity with Assistant Professor Dr. Chayan Tanti Wasadagan, the Dean of Faculty of Economics, Thailand University. Swadee. So first of all, the reason we are here today is to talk about the symposium that just occurred on January 2018, that is Redesign Thailand. So could you tell us a bit about this symposium?
Well, basically, this is an annual event that we normally arrange to summarize the research that our faculty members have done throughout the year so that we can send certain message, especially to the government, the policy designer, and also the general public about certain direction we think it's important for our economy. And this is again another series of symposium that we have arranged for 40 times already. And this year, we think that the direction of development that Thailand is going is very important because we are basically trying to redirect our direction of change. And there are several important factors in the world that is occurring now that we have to factor in before we do this kind of design. The first one is, of course, that Asia is becoming more and more important. This is an Asian century. China is rising up. USA is a little bit lag behind. And we have to take into account this change, the first one. Second one is a drastic change in technological advances. We know about the Internet of Things, the new renewable energy. It changed so quickly that a lot of industry that exists right now may disappear in a few years. And we have to direct our industry toward new direction. Third one is environmental issue. You heard a lot about climate change. We basically destruct our own planet Earth by using fossil fuel that warming up our environment. And if we do not do anything with it, we may face a very disastrous environmental issue in the future. And production that we are doing has to realign with the new direction too. And of course, we also facing with some of our own economic problems. Yes, we grow, but some part of our economy, a lot of people still in poverty. There are some income distribution issue. So these are the environment we are in now, and we want to make sure that the new direction take into account of all these. And basically the direction we are taking on is fit with the global direction that is sustainable development.
I see.
You probably heard about SDG goal 17 and so on. This is part of it. And basically there are three main pillars of the sustainable development. The first one, of course, we have to be able to compete with the rest of the world. So we have to catch up with the technology, we have to be efficient and so on. You can call this first pillar as competitive growth. But the second also important pillar is the environment. You cannot grow by destroying yourself. You have to take care of the resource, the environment, so that we will not poison us ourselves. So this is a so-called green growth. And the third one is the inclusive growth. Basically, you should not grow and leave certain group of people behind. Why? human right, of course, and also actually it has economic repercussion. If you leave someone behind without in hunger and so on, they would create social problem, and this in turn will finally feed back a negative effect on the growth itself.
Okay.
So we need all three
Okay.
in order to grow in a sustainable way.
Okay. So from the factors that you mentioned, so we have to ask a bit on why we need to redesign. Okay, Thailand. then.
Because what we concern is that our current government may concentrate too much on the first pillar.
I see.
You can see the direction of EEC, Thailand 4.0. All of these are emphasizing on technology, new skill, growth. What we worry is another two pillars may be ignored. And our symposium basically take two of the main pillar. Not because the last one is not important, but it's impossible to fit all three in one day symposium.
Okay.
So we decide maybe we take these two first, and of course when we have a chance, then we take another combination, and then present to the public again.
Okay. Now, what about the concepts of the symposium this year? So, what are they?
Basically, as the name suggests, redesign Thailand so that we have a sustainable development direction. Okay, so we separate our symposium into two parts. The first part would be the competitive growth,
Okay.
and the later part would be the green growth.
And who were participants or audiences in the symposium?
Oh, it's ranging from policymaker, business people, or even general public, and of course academia in general.
Okay. And regarding the expected outcome, so what were the objectives or from the previous or the first place of hosting the symposium?
For the policymaker, we hope that our message will at least go into the redesign of Thailand, so that they will take into account of certain warning that we try to make. And for the general public, they will be more well informed about what should be the best direction for the policy that they're going to live in the future.
Okay. But for now, it's time for a short break. We'll be right back. We learn more on researches, on two pillars that, Ajahn has mentioned. So please stay tuned and don't go away from Be My Guest. And welcome back to the program. You're watching Be My Guest with me, Sarosha Ratanapian, and I'm still with Assistant Professor Dr. Chiantanti Wasadakan, the Dean of Faculty of Economics, Thammasat University, who actually hosted the symposium Redesign Thailand. So in the first break, we have learned a lot about the rationale, the background, the symposium. Now we want to learn more about 6 researches that was and were brought about in the symposium. So could you tell us a bit more?
Okay. There are 6 papers that we present on that day by our faculties. In the morning session, we emphasize on the competitive growth, and in the afternoon, we emphasize on green growth. Okay, for the first 3, we start with the very important sector of Thailand, export sector. You probably know that export is very important for our GDP. Consists about 60 up to 70% of our GDP. So if something happened to our export, then our growth would have problems. Okay, so our researcher look at the structure of our export, in detail that where is our main market, what are the main important products that we export, do we export new kind of product, or are we successful in penetrating the new product? And what we found is that in the old market and old products such as electronics, chemical, and auto industry, we are quite successful, and we still hold quite okay in terms of market share and penetration. That's not the worry that we have. But in the new area of new product, we kind of lacking behind. New country like China, like Korea are a lot more successful, even Vietnam. So this is the area we start to feel that we need to do something. And then And the researcher suggests that the only way out in order for us to get into the new product, new market is to enhance our R&D. It is very important that we emphasize more on R&D rather than just buy and sell as usual.
I see.
Okay, so that's a direction that we want the government try to emphasize, not just boost export
I see.
without direction.
I see.
We need more research.
So I'm wondering, okay, what new products you're talking about, okay, that we are lacking behind from other countries?
Basically, we kind of industry that produce for other industry. Car, for example,
I
is there
see.
any Thai car?
I see.
Do we have our own mobile phone? A lot of new product that need necessary manufacturing product. It could be services like program. A lot of new startups start from a new program. We need to take on those kind of area. And of course, EEC is part of it. Okay, but we need more than just building up the infrastructure. We need researcher,
I see.
a lot more finance from the government and the public, the private. Excuse me. I mean, the private company need to work together with the researcher and the government to come up with the new innovation to move on to the new century.
Okay.
So roughly that's the first paper. Second paper look at the new engine of Thailand. We talk so much about service sector as a new engine for our economy. We have a lot of tourism. Tourists come to Thailand. We earn more than 10% from our tourist industry. Is that the new engine? Can service as a whole be a new engine? The researcher found out that not all subsector in service can be the engine, can be the leading sector, because a lot of them are basically the following service that support the main one. But some exceptional case might be medical tourism. You look across of our building, Sirilat, right? We have plenty of good medical doctor, and so far we earn quite okay. We have the direction of medical hub. Okay, we attract tourists and patients from abroad, and so far it's quite okay. But one concern that the researcher found is that we do not have a unique brand. When you talk about medical tourism for, say, Korea, what do you think about?
I have no idea actually.
Like, if we go to Korea to do something, basically we do
Yes, facial surgery. Okay,
that's a
body
brand name that
surgery.
Korea
I see.
has. And then we ask, what about Thailand? Do we have a brand that when we talk about Thailand medical tourism, what is the unique characteristic of Thailand? And it turned out that we are not unique.
I see.
We have several services.
Okay.
So it's hard to do marketing to promote if we do not have a unique direction about what is a unique service of Thailand. Okay. Second, we still lack a lot of infrastructure to support, especially I should not call infrastructure, labor. Medical doctor wise it's okay, but nurse, we still have serious shortage of nurses to support the doctor. We still have serious shortage of blood. In order to do this kind of thing, you need a lot of blood. How do you manage to handle those kind of important resources? So if we really to promote this, then we have to worry about these kind of two important key successful factor.
Okay. And this has been the second paper.
Yeah.
Okay, in the symposium.
And the third one deal with the labor skill gap. As you know that in order to move forward, we need a very capable labor force. English is the main problem that we know, probably due to the fact that we teach English in the wrong way, in my opinion. We emphasize too much on spelling, grammar, and less on conversation. And that's why we learn up to Mathayom, and then we still cannot communicate in English. Okay, so and the next one is of course the skill in the field of technology. Middle group skill still very lag behind. Right? No one want to learn vocational school, Achiva, because the image and so on. We cannot develop our industry without those skills. Research and development also another complement that we need to boost up. So in terms of skill of labor, we still in serious problem. Education also so important, and we still struggling
Okay.
in this field. We change our Ministry of Education too often, too soon. Okay, so those are the first three research paper to address competitive growth.
I see,
in the
okay.
model.
And any suggestions or recommendations for the shortage of labor in different industries in Thailand?
It depends on what industry you're talking about. If it is labor-intensive industry, then you cannot expect Thai people to be the main source. We still need to import and let immigrant from our neighboring country. But that's the thing we need to accept, right?
I see.
In hard labor kind of thing. But skilled labor, this is the thing that we need to do ourselves. We cannot expect to suddenly get our labor being knowledgeable about the technology, right? And we probably need to start to accept the expertise from foreigner to attract Thai who graduate outside of our country and works in US, in Europe, how to lure those brain drain labor force back to Thailand to help our nation.
Okay.
Those probably some of the suggestions I may have.
Okay. But for now, it's time for a short break again. Okay, we have learned, on 3 researches, which address the competitive growth. Okay, now on the next break, we're learning more on the researches, which, mention and pinpointed, the problem in environment or environment change. So please stay tuned and don't go away from Be My Guest. And welcome back to Be My Guest, and I'm Sarosha Ratanapian, and I'm still Assistant Professor Dr. Shayan from the Faculty of Economics, Thammasat University. And in this break, we'll explore more on environmental growth or green growth, that you mentioned, which is one of the 3 pillars, of Thailand 4.0.
In the afternoon, the first paper deal with the big picture of when we grow and we export our product. What we would like to know is how do we exploit our resources? Basically in Thailand would be Din Nam Lum Phai, the land, water, climate and energy. And it turned out that we have used our resources in a very maybe a bit careless way. We kind of take it for granted that this resource will stay with us forever. We believe in ในน้ำมีปลาในนามีข้าว kind of idea, but it's not true anymore, especially when climate change is a main problem of the global. We experience a lot of time about flooding and drought. Okay, so the researcher tried to calculate what are the main impact on on those issues, and then it turned out that our water supply would be a serious problem in the future. Energy definitely going to be a serious problem that we, even right now, we have to import a lot from our neighboring country. Climate change, if we go on still using the fuel that based on fossil fuel, we will be in serious problem in the future. Second paper deal with energy directly. So the researcher tried to point out that the new trend of the energy in the world is no longer petroleum and fossil fuel. We are moving toward the renewable energy, wind, solar, and so on. And in the past, people may have the myth that believe that those renewable energy is not capable of competing with the traditional fossil fuel. So expensive, you have to invest a lot. But this is no longer true. it becomes cheaper and cheaper.
Okay.
And the authority need to change the direction of investing on the power supply. And he have found out that in the past, if you go look at the projection about our energy demand, it's always overestimate.
Okay.
And as a result of this overestimation, we over-invest in our energy power supply.
I see.
And that should not be the right way to do because resources are limited.
Okay.
And we kind of still linger on the new old technology and not investing enough on the new renewable energy, particularly solar, smart grid, battery that will support the new industry.
Okay, so
in
that
the
means,
future.
what are the current situation right now of new renewable energy in Thailand?
The problem is, I have to say that the authority still try to keep on their monopoly power.
I see.
And they seem to kind of reluctant to let the public to have, say, free solar production.
Okay.
And that would hinder the development of this kind of industry. Our car industry that is our main export going to be suffer in the future. Don't forget that our car export is based on the old fossil fuel technology. We need to start to think about electric car. Although parts may have a serious repercussion in the future because you don't need those parts anymore. Electric car need only a few parts, wheel, the frame, and so on, motor, battery, that's it. No need to have muffler and a lot of parts.
Okay.
So we need to think about this thing and adjust quickly before it's too late.
Okay, so it's from the changes that you mentioned,
Yeah,
again
the
in
new
technological,
trend, yeah.
advance, and also the new trend of energy,
Right.
usage in the world too. And that has been the second paper, on green.
For the last one, it's deal with water management. You heard a lot of the thinking of passing a new law that maybe we need to charge water in the river in the irrigation system because we no longer have free water to go do anything anymore. Some year we heard that the government have to ask the farmer to stop growing the off-season rice, right? The khao na prang. And so this become a serious problem. Should we charge the farmer or should we charge only the industry people in Bangkok who also use the water a lot? Without this new system, we cannot have sufficient water to feed the economy. Especially we want to be the kitchen of the world, so agricultural product is so important. And to grow agricultural product, you need water. And the new law has a certain aspect that maybe part of the agricultural sector need to pay. But is this the only way to do it? There may be several methods to deal with this, and the researcher found that there are certain group of villager and water system that actually has their own internal system that arrange the way to allocate water without the need to fight, without the need to charge each other, but it based on community kind of trust and regulation. So the main message the researcher want to send is that there is no one-size-fits-all kind of policy that you can pass one law and apply everywhere and it works. We need to go into the detail of each separate area and look at their unique background and cultural issue, and then design the method to manage the water properly.
I see.
And that may be more efficient and has less conflict.
Okay, so all in all, 6 researchers, have been mentioned on that day in the symposium. Now for the third pillar, so are they going to be addressed in later years?
Yes, right now our faculty is in the process of setting up a research cluster on that issue. Okay, we already started a green growth kind of cluster. We call ourselves as Pro-Green Policy Research Center on Green Economy. Those are the first group that deal with this green economy issue. The next group that coming along is the inequality group. Okay, there are about 6 or 7 researchers trying to form their team, and then we are talking with the Thailand Research Fund to get the grant so that we can set up this center. And the main issue would be addressed about inequality issue, land entitlement, income level, poverty, distribution of income, right to the resources, for example. And after we build up sufficient knowledge, then of course Thammasat will deliver those messages to the public again in the near future. In fact, we are in the process of forming a lot more cluster related to fiscal policy, related to labor issue, for example.
Okay, so we are looking, okay, and hoping, okay, keeping a finger crossed actually, okay, for the future projects, okay, in the future, okay, by the Faculty of Economics, Thammasat University. And that's all, okay, the time we have for the interview today. So thank you very much, okay, for your coming, okay, for this, okay, episode to be my guest. Thank you very much. ขอบคุณค่ะ
ครับ
In this symposium, 2 of the 3 key pillars of sustainable development, which are a country's competitive growth and environment or green growth, have been chosen as the focus. We hope that you will be stimulated by ideas raised within the interview today to allow constructive reflection on facts which are policy relevant and to help redesign Thailand. So for more information, please log into www.econ.tu.ac.th/symposium40. And that's all the time we have for Be My Guest this week. Thank you very much for watching us and tuning in. For more information, you can log into thainews.prd.go.th/en. And I'm Sarosha Ratanapian. สวัสดีค่ะ